Naruto, 10 Things That Make No Sense About the Uchiha Clan. The Uchiha clan was in a complex situation in Naruto, and they didn't always make sense. The Uchiha clan was a powerful extended family of shinobi with a hereditary dojutsu. The Sharingan Eye. Their clan took up an entire neighborhood of the village, and they made up a large portion of Konoha's police force. However, they were wiped out by a single Uchiha clan member, Itachi, to prevent a coup d'état. This left only one Uchiha in the village, Itachi's younger brother, Sasuke, who went on a quest for vengeance. However, there were a lot of things about the Uchihas and the way they were treated that did not add up. And some fans couldn't help but suspect that things could have ended very differently. 10. It's not realistic for the Sharingan to work after being transplanted into someone else. It seemed like the actual, physical Sharingan eyes were being transferred around a lot in the series. Itachi got one from Shisui, Kakashi got one from Obito, Sasuke got one from Itachi, and Danzo got a bunch. With all this eyeball swapping, it makes one wonder how these eyes stay in good condition. Seeing as it is a magical fantasy world, it is not out of the realm of possibility, and there is certainly a supernatural element to the transfer of the eye from one to another. But it begs the question of just how many times it can be done and how far it can go. 9. Why did the village have such a big problem with the Uchiha? There is a lot of talk about the Uchiha's curse of hatred, the Senju's will of fire, and the reincarnations of the brothers Indra and Azura. But throughout the series, there are Uchihas who break from that curse cycle, even without Naruto's help. So, if not all Uchiha clan members are automatically bad and not all Senju and Konoha citizens are necessarily good, there shouldn't be anything held against them. Sure, the Uchiha were powerful, but one would think that a ninja village would want to harness that power and keep them happy, not antagonize them. 8. The curse of hatred was only broken recently. Speaking of the Uchiha clan's curse of hatred, it's odd that the reincarnations of Azura and Indra could stop the cycle. If the village just got rid of Danzo Shimura, it would have solved a lot of the animosity, especially considering how Madara, Hashirama, and Tobirama were out of the picture. On top of that, there were plenty of Uchiha who were well on their way to breaking the cycle. It was the village and its leaders who were truly in the way most of the time. 7. The entire clan didn't have to be destroyed. If the only real threats within the Uchiha clan were the Sharingan-wielding shinobi who were planning the coup, the rest of the clan could have been spared. Instead, the elderly, the artisans, and those who did not possess the skills and talents to be shinobi were all massacred along with the rest of the clan. The argument that it was meant to keep the coup d'état on the down low seemed way less effective if it meant sparing more lives. 6. The whole clan could have just left the village. If the Uchiha hated the way the Hidden Leaf village treated them, they could have easily abandoned the village. There were enough of them to make this a possibility. Even if Danzo and the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, wanted to stop them, with both Itachi and Fugaku at the helm, the two elders would not have been much of a deterrent. The Uchihas could not have known that they would eventually be massacred. But leaving the village might have been a more peaceful solution to try first. 5. Sasuke had no one watching over him after the massacre. Like Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha was orphaned and left to his own devices as a small child. Also like Naruto, a deal had been struck that made the third Hokage responsible for Sasuke's well-being. With both kids, however, the third decided to give them money and let them grow up on their own. Of course, it wasn't a good idea to let these young ninja raise themselves without any form of adult supervision at home. Furthermore, One would think the third would have felt worse about the Uchiha massacre and would have provided more support for Sasuke, who had to cope with the loss of his entire family. 4. There has never been an Uchiha Hokage. The position of Hokage was never meant to be dominated by the Senju clan and its affiliates, but that was exactly what happened. First, there was Hashirama Senju, who was followed by Tobirama Senju. Then, Tobirama's student, Hiruzen Sarutobi, became the third Hokage. Hiruzen trained Jiraiya, who then trained the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. The fifth Hokage was a Senju heir, and later, Kakashi Hatake, the student of Minato, became the sixth Hokage. This all culminates in Naruto, Minato's son and Kakashi's student, becoming the seventh Hokage. And yet, there has never been an Uchiha Hokage. 3. Itachi didn't have to use the Mangekyo Sharingan on Sasuke. Sasuke Uchiha was a small child and Itachi massacred the clan. It would have been scary enough to see his brother killing his parents and the rest of the clan. So it was odd that Itachi felt the need to scar Sasuke further by using the Mangekyo Sharingan on him. Not only was it overkill, that technique was also meant to be used on rare occasions, as it will slowly deteriorate one's vision. Despite that, Itachi used it on a child, anyway. Perhaps he was so desensitized by death at this point that he didn't realize his parents' murder would have been enough. 2. No one told Sasuke the truth. Honesty really is the best policy. If the council people of Konoha had just been upfront with Sasuke, even if it was later on in his life when it was clear he was about to leave the village, so much trouble might have been avoided. One cannot blame them for keeping it a secret from him while he was young, but once he was old enough to be a true ninja and awaken the Sharingan, it would have been much easier if they had just come clean. It may have even stopped Orochimaru from getting Sasuke. 1. If the coup was really about Danzo, they could have taken him out instead of the whole Uchiha clan. No one even liked Danzo Shimura, and with shinobi like Kakashi and Itachi on their side, the village could have gotten rid of him whenever they wanted to. Unfortunately, they did not want to for some reason. If the Uchiha were so angry about Danzo's war against the Uchiha's existence, they could have limited the coup to simply taking out Danzo. How Danzo was able to manipulate so many in the village was terrifying, especially seeing that the village had the power to stop him if they wanted to.